Hi everyone, and welcome to our student volunteering during a pandemic talk as part of our Leics Chat live event. Just to let you know, we are recording this session, so you may be shouted out by the presenters if you do decide to post a question in the chat. So if you'd like to be anonymous, please do just let us know if you do post. Other than that, you probably won't appear on the video anyway. The videos will be posted on our social media throughout the rest of the year. So without further ado, I'm excited to welcome Elle and Eleanor to talk about volunteering. Over to you.
Hello, hopefully you can see my screen. So just a little introduction. So my name is Eleanor. I am the Volunteering and Fundraising Deputy Manager at the Students' Union. Elle, are you happy to introduce yourself as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Elle and I am your full-time elected activities officer. So that also means that volunteering comes under my remit in that role as well.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you for that. So today we're going to go through a little talk on how you can get involved volunteering during the pandemic. So firstly, we're going to talk about some of the local organisations that we partner with as a students' union. So we have an online volunteering portal where we partner with around about 50 local organisations. A lot of these, as I'm sure you can imagine, have been put under pressure by the COVID-19 pandemic. A lot of them have stopped the in-person volunteering opportunities that they were offering for students. However, I just wanted to quickly go through a few of them that have been in touch with me this week that are still wanting to get students in for this lockdown 2.0. They still have opportunities that can be done online, opportunities that can be done remotely or safely. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about those organisations today. So the first one is Trade Sexual Health. They are a local charity based in Leicester, and they do a lot to do with HIV awareness, AIDS awareness, sex positivity, and just general sexual health promoting. So they are looking for students who will be able to do all sorts of different remote activities at the moment. So they have, as you can see there, sexual health promoter, communications and digital engagement. So they're looking for people to man their social media, create content and engaging posts. And then they're also looking for fundraisers as well. So obviously a lot of charities have come under intense financial pressure over the span of the pandemic. So fundraising is really, really important for charities at the moment as well. So the next one is COG Youth Services. And again, they're a very small local organisation that works a lot with young people in many different aspects. And they're looking for different students with different abilities. So we've got, for example, they want someone to do bid writing. So bid writing is basically where you would help them using your creative writing and language skills to be able to apply for different grants and funding to make funding bids so that they can get different grants from, it might be organisations that give out money to charities or local councils and things like that. Also podcast animator. So, you know, if you're very technically minded or you like using Photoshop and things like that, they've definitely got space for you in their organisation. Digital services and the website. So again, if you've got knowledge of WordPress, social media, anything like that that can be done online, they are really looking for students who have those abilities right now. And then, as I said as well, events and fundraising, they are definitely still looking for people, even if it's not right now, to be able to get trained up to be able to do and help out with events in the future, and different fundraising initiatives, which might be all held online as well. So Action Homeless is another local charity based in Leicester. They have a food bank in South Leicestershire. So it's quite near sort of Oadby and Wigston area where obviously a lot of our students live. And at the moment they're looking for food bank volunteers, food bank collection and delivery services, fundraisers, and then they've also just set up a Depop store as well, which is an online shop, and they're looking for students to be able to help out with that. So listing things, selling things on the Depop store, taking photos of the items and that sort of thing, which can obviously all be done socially distant or from home. So we do have a lot of other organisations, as I mentioned, that we do work with. A lot of are at the moment for sort of this period of lockdown for them, they've put their opportunities on hold, just because obviously at the moment it's very hard for a lot of people to be able to make those opportunities and the volunteering that students would normally do, to adapt those to make them social distant is really, really hard for people. However, I would definitely recommend, they are still looking for volunteers once the lockdown period is finished. So sort of looking into December, January, even semester 2, it's never too late to get involved in volunteering. So if you see something you think you like, but you're not sure that they'll be operating fully at the moment, get in touch with them, see how you can help. I'm sure they'd love to hear from you. So the last one as well is an organisation called VAL, or Voluntary Action Leicestershire, and they are looking for COVID-19 emergency volunteers at the moment. So what they're trying to do is create a pool of volunteers, and they'd love students to be involved in this as well, who can be ready on an emergency basis to do small one-off tasks. So it might be for a short period of time, the council needs help with a temporary COVID testing facility, or they need to do a leaflet drop, or there's some deliveries that need to be made for a care home or something like that. So it's very varied. They don't particularly know or be able to prepare and plan what's going to come up, because it's just sort of like an emergency whenever it's needed volunteering opportunity. So if you did want to get in touch with them, type in Voluntary Action Leicestershire on Google and you can sign up, and they'll add you to the list, so that when they do have anything emergency that comes up, then they'll get in touch with you and ask if you can help. Fantastic stuff. So next we will go on to student-led projects. So Elle, did you want to introduce some of our student-led volunteering?
Yeah, absolutely. So just to sort of follow on from what Eleanor said about the time scale in which you get involved in volunteering, absolutely get involved whenever suits you. And our student-led projects are no different to local organisations in that sense. So on campus, we've got a number of projects. Here is a list, as I'm sure you can see. So just to touch on them briefly, So Expression are doing a lot of work. They did some activism work around securing the C card on campus this year. They do a lot of work around awareness of sexual health projects, and they're also looking as to how they can bring that in a COVID-19 world to res life and accommodation services. Nightline do an incredible job in terms of running their instant messaging service for people that need support. I've also just realised that I definitely can't go through all of them and just talk forever about each one, so I'm just going to touch on a few. Our community first responders work with ambulance services to obviously provide that sort of first instance medical support, and a number of these groups like Leicester Marrow, like Oxfam, like Alzheimer's are running online fundraisers for their charities and for relevant groups that they work with. As Eleanor touched on, sort of the key thing for a lot of groups at the moment has been finances, for charities to keep going, for charities to run the incredible services that they need. Pro bono is my background. Before I was in this role, I was the president of our Pro Bono Society, so I have an insight into a lot of the work they do, which is with the local community and giving legal advice, supporting people through a court process, and working on more international research projects. And we've obviously got our First Aid and our Teddy Bears Hospital societies who are doing a lot more of like the medical fundraising pieces again, and some more practical training for their members. I saw Teddy Bears Hospital have been doing their training online. So all of our groups have been adapting as societies need to at the moment to deliver their events virtually. But these volunteering groups have a committee that are incredibly passionate about their roles. They work so hard to make sure that they haven't been hampered by this. And I can speak on behalf of all of them and say that they're so welcoming to new members at any point in the year. So if there's something that you want to get involved in, just drop them a message and sort of get that process going. Speaking about groups, I'm going to roll on to the next slide, I believe. Hey. Yes, Caitlin, part of Leicester Marriage Society. Exactly. Amazing. Yeah, so all sorts of events like that, like the fundraisers, but also it's so fun and so social. And I think that's a massive plus of the student-led volunteering, is combining the fundraising, the awareness, and the social element into getting a group of people together that are having a good time as well as doing good. But yeah, also we've had a lot of groups that aren't necessarily volunteering based. All groups are very welcome to get involved in charity fundraising. And I can see our total is £1,365 so far. I know we haven't added the Movember work that Team Leicester have been doing, which I believe is over £2,000 already, and we're only like 13 days into the month. So
I think it's almost £3,000 now, actually, that they've done
that's
so far.
amazing. So yeah, it's in our Al Ubay Islamic Society did their hike and their whole awareness campaign for Yemen. Plenty of other groups like Oxfam have also been talking about the Yemen crisis and raising awareness in that sense. So it's just that whatever group on campus, so many of them have stepped up and got involved in fundraising. Obviously, we had virtual varsity at the end of last year, and we've had a lot of sort of getting involved, doing the walk, the run, the cycle for Movember. So yeah, basically what I'm saying is that volunteering takes a load of forms at uni, and that isn't to say that only our volunteering groups do amazing work, although they do, that there are lots of academic, faith, sports, common interest societies who are also doing a lot of work during lockdown to raise awareness about issues that they care about. So yeah, that's that.
So the last thing that we want to talk to you about was the virtual volunteering hub on the Leicester Union website. So you may or may not have seen it. At the moment, what we are investing in is getting it refreshed, making sure it's a lot more user friendly. So if you have seen it and you thought that it was a bit difficult to use, we're trying to make it more simplified, trying to make it more personable and get more student experiences on there. So keep an eye out for that in semester 2, because it's something that we're working really hard to update at the moment. So if you go to www.leicesterunion.com/volunteering and click on the volunteering hub, you'll be able to access our online volunteering portal. And this is where we have all of the partner organisations that I talked about. So they might be local charities or national organisations that are looking for student volunteers, and they list all of their opportunities on there, and then you can apply for them and find out more information. On the volunteering hub, once you've created a profile, you can also start logging your volunteering hours and your skills that you developed as well. And then you can download an hours record and a skills record, so you can keep a log of all of the work that you've been doing. And once you've logged, I think it's this year we've got 25 hours, 50 hours and 100 hours awards. So what we do is at the end of the year, each year we have annual volunteering awards that you can log your hours to, log your skills and your hours to throughout the year. So those are SU accredited as well. So something that looks really good on your CV to be able to back up what you've done with regards to charities, volunteering or student groups or whatever that may be. Fantastic stuff. So that was pretty much a whistle-stop tour, I'd say, of the volunteering offer at Leicester. As I was saying, volunteering takes so many different forms. It's never too late to get involved. Don't feel like you're going to be left out or like the year or anything like that.
Yeah, sorry, Eleanor. It sounds like you might have dropped out a little bit there.
Oh, sorry.
It sounds like you're back now. Do you think you're able to, within those closing statements there, do you think there was anything that's sort of key that may have been missed out?
No.
What was do you think it was a bit of a take home, weren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks very much for that. Really good stuff. Glad to see that there's such a variety of opportunities out there, even given the pandemic. I suppose I'll open the floor now to any questions that anyone from the audience has for, well, probably for Elle if Eleanor's internet's dropped out. I think we did have one question during the session that was asking whether there's a 150 hours award for logging volunteering. Is that something that
Yeah.
Eleanor might have to get back to them on? Or?
The only question I can't answer. Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
I think Eleanor will have to get back on that one.
okay.
However, that is like a serious amount of commitment, and if there
It's a
isn't
lot of
one,
hours.
I don't know how we're justifying not having one. So, you know, if
Yeah,
students are
yeah.
getting 150, we'll invent one.
Maybe we should have one, yeah.
Exactly.
Ah,
Yeah, it's
platinum.
platinum. Oh, cool. Caitlin's bringing the volunteering award knowledge.
That
Love to see that.
it sounds
Nice.
like a statement of intent that you're going to get there as well, which is great.
Yeah, love that.
Um,
Love that.
I suppose my question then would be if obviously there are so many opportunities out there, which is great, but um, if someone was sort of thinking, okay, I'd really like to volunteer, but I'm just not sure if now during a pandemic is the right time to do it, what would you say to someone who's feeling a bit like that?
I would say if you're feeling like that, then the best bet is sometimes our student groups, like our student-led groups, because honestly, it's it's so difficult at the moment to plan where you're going to be like next week, what the guidance is going to be in 3 weeks. And I think what we've seen is our student-led groups are so responsive and so supportive, and they're really aiming to build a community around the issues that they care about. And I just think even reaching out, talking to them and being like, I'm not sure if this is me now, but maybe I could just come socially, or can I just come as a one-off and just see what you're about? Like, that is absolutely true that they'll be welcoming to that. And it's just a good opportunity to maybe meet a few people and just be like, actually, some people are feeling the same. Like, a lot of people are feeling like that. I'm sure all of us are having our reservations about lockdown. And sometimes it can be nice to get involved in something outside of it. So they're very responsive to that and are just there. I just say go and chat to them, because they're students. They're happy to answer anything that you have or just chat it through. And to be honest, the same goes for a lot of the community projects, in the sense that like you can drop them a message and see what they're doing. If their contact details are up, just chat to them. Lots of people are happy to just have interest. So yeah, that's my
Can you
answer.
guys hear me now as well, or am I
We can,
still gone?
Eleanor. Yeah,
You're
thank you.
back.
Okay,
You're back.
lovely stuff. So I just wanted to mention as well, obviously this whole talk has been about how you can get involved and how there are still so many opportunities and how charities are adapting their opportunities during COVID. But equally, I think if you feel like at this point in time, you'd really like to do something, but maybe you have too much on, maybe you're clinically vulnerable, even if you're not, maybe if you have anxiety or something like that. Also, this is a strange thing to say in a volunteering talk, but it's perfectly okay not to volunteer. It's not something mandatory that you have to do all of the time. If you want to give it 6 months and see how you feel, that's also okay. If you just want to research and you think, oh, there's nothing that's grabbing me right now, I'm a bit concerned about going outdoors and mixing with people, or I'm not sure that I'd be able to do any of the online opportunities because I don't have that digital knowledge, that's absolutely fine. Research, see if there's something for you, see if there's something you feel comfortable with. And if you don't, that's fine too. You don't have to do it. It's not something that's mandatory. So, if you want to get involved, that's great. And I do believe there's a cause out there for everybody and something everyone can get involved in. But if you don't have the capability to do that right now, don't feel guilty and don't feel pressured, because it's not something that you absolutely must do.
I feel like we lost Lloyd as chair there, but yeah,
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
going
I
to
can't
echo
see the
that.
chat, so I don't know if anyone responded or anything. I just sort of
No,
went off on one there, but I just think it's quite important for people
no,
not to feel
absolutely.
like they must absolutely do something.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think what I put in the chat was just like keeping up to date on social media, even if you don't join them, even if you like just want to see what other people are doing, because for you it's not right at the moment, but you want to keep that interest up, is like a really good way of just seeing it as part of your feed. Like, it doesn't have to be you flying the flag for everything, or that
100%.
sort of, but also, like, it's like Caitlin was saying about Marrow, like doing a one-off quiz and something can be a great way to like see what's going on. So yeah.
Absolutely. Okay.
Thank
Brilliant
you so
stuff.
much. Yeah,
Any
that's
more questions in the chat?
No, just Lloyd saying his mic was off.
yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah. Thanks for saying that last bit as well. I think that's a really important point, and definitely probably a good point to finish on as well. So thank you both once again for taking the time to talk to us today. As I say, we've recorded these, so we will be posting them on social media as well. And yeah, thanks to those who came along as well. We have our signposting workshop later on, which is at 3 o'clock, as it says on there. Unfortunately, it's not available to book anymore, as we had to book those in advance. But all of the workshops that we're on today will be repeated throughout term 1. So if you head to leicesterunion.com/training, you can book the further workshops that are available this term. Thanks, everyone.